Alright, it is time, guys. We're a week into the preseason, and just like we expected, the game's going to need some work. What is up, ProGuides family? Christoph back with you guys again. I missed you all. And we are here for the upcoming changes of patch 10.24. Yes, 1 week into preseason. So if you guys haven't been living under a rock, you know that the new season is crazy. But luckily Riot is on our side and they're gonna fix all of our problems, right? So in this video, we're going to be going over all of the balance changes that you need to know coming up this week. And as always, for our question of the day, which class do you think came out the strongest in this preseason? I thought initially that tanks were actually a lot stronger than intended because of how powerful their mythic items were, but I'm actually leaning more towards assassins. Their items are powerful and give a ton of burst damage and playmaking potential. It's honestly pretty disgusting. I'm really sorry if you guys play ADC. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and with that said, let's run through those upcoming changes. First up, we're gonna get to my favorite section. Yep, the skins section. We've got some new cosmic skins being released. Cosmic Anivia, Alawi, Nami, Nidalee, Hecarim, Varus, Vladimir, Skarner, and Dark Cosmic Lysandra are being added next patch. Also, Prestige Edition Star Guardian Soraka will also be unlockable. Sounds like we might have another Star Guardian event coming up soon. These skins have a ton of chromas available as well, so if you're looking for variety, I think these might be a decent purchase for the right price point. You get a nice skin and can buy their chromas too, and they look pretty sweet. Make sure to check them out, and next up we run through the systems changes. Systems. We've got so many changes, and that's to be expected. I don't think that any items suck. They're honestly all pretty OP, but some were more OP than others, and Riot is making a ton of changes next patch. First up, we're going to be running through the nerfs. The first nerf is to Luden's Tempest. The damage is being reduced from 100 plus 15% AP to 100 plus 10% AP. While the bonus movement speed is being halved from 30 to 15%, both of these nerfs are huge, but the nerf to the movement speed is especially a big one. Certain champions were gaining too much power from the immense burst of movement speed, created a huge safety buffer, and also made it nearly impossible to escape from a fed mage. A nerf to the AP ratio will also help make sure that when you get one shot, it's because your opponent is super fed, not just a little bit ahead. By the way, guys, with the preseason being a time to improve, make sure to go to ProGuides.com and find your challenger coach to help you out with all these new items. I know it's kind of crazy right now. They personally helped me because I was actually losing a lot very recently, and I said, you know what, why don't I just get a coach? And yes, they helped me understand which items to get, and it was a super big help. Next up is Liandry's Anguish. Yet another mage item is being nerfed, but this one was honestly way too powerful. The burn damage is pretty oppressive, and Riot is quick to jump on balancing it. The damage over time has had its AP ratio reduced from 2.5% AP to 1.5% AP. This is the ratio per second, so that means over 4 seconds, the AP ratio has been lowered from 10% to 6%. Certain champions, like good old Malzahar, could deal a ridiculous amount of damage with this item. While the idea behind this item is great, it's proven to be a bit overtuned and was already nerfed in a hotfix this patch. For those of you who haven't been keeping up, the magic pen was reduced from 25% to 15% at full power. Another nerf is for Night Harvester. While a little bit less popular of a purchase, it's still proving to be quite too powerful. Its damage is being reduced from 175 to 250 to 125 to 200. Finishing this item was providing too big of a power spike, and Riot has gone ahead and nerfed its base values at all stages of the game. Riftmaker is also victim to a nerf next patch. The premier source of Omnivamp and true damage, this item has led to the success of many players who love to play AP champions and fight in extended bouts. The damage amp has been lowered from 3% to 2% per second, meaning that you'll also cap out at 10% instead of 15%. 15 bonus damage was a lot, but the fact that it could be dealt as true damage was honestly way too powerful. 10% is much more manageable, so we'll have to wait and see if they over-nerfed this item or not in the next patch. Like Night Harvester, Hextech Rocket Belt was providing too big of a power spike when finished. The base damage has been lowered from 200 to 300 to 175 to 250. Its movement speed bonus has also been nerfed from 75% to 50%. Just like with Luden's, the mobility bonus was a bit excessive, and that's also been touched. While not a mythic item, Lichbane is also subject to a nerf next patch. This one might not seem like a big one, but considering the whole point of buying a Lichbane is for a damage bonus through its Spellblade passive, it's definitely not going to make players who love this item very happy. The Spellblade ratio is being lowered from 50% to 40%. Earlier on in the game, this nerf will hardly feel noticeable, but by the time you finish a death cap and wrap up your 6-item build, it'll definitely feel weaker than before. Like Liandry's Demonic Embrace is also getting nerfed. The burn damage in general has been too powerful, and thus the damage over time is being reduced from 1.5% max health per second to 1.25%. Nashor's Tooth is also getting nerfed next patch. The on-hit ratio is being reduced from 25% to 20%. With that noted, we've got tons of nerfs to AP items. Overall, it looks like all sorts of magic damage champions are being targeted, whether it's someone like Kale who can abuse Nashor's Tooth, burst your champions, or even mages who like to slowly burn down enemies. Riot has hit them all. No discrimination, everyone's getting a nerf. Finally, we've got 2 last item nerfs to talk about, and first up is to Eclipse. By the way, this item was already hotfix nerfed, guys, so having its damage reduced from 8% of the target's maximum health to 6%, and the movement speed bonus lowered from 30% to 15%. This item is getting the nerf hammer. The next nerf coming up to this item is that the cooldown will be increased from 6 to 8 seconds. Overall, we knew this item had it coming. You've got burst damage, mini phase rush, and even a shield to help you make your escape. All these nerfs should hopefully put the item in a healthier place, because let's be honest, this thing was absolutely broken. The final nerf is to Blade of the Ruined King. While I'm curious to see if other fighter items get nerfed in the near future, the first step Riot has taken is to reduce the gold value of this item. Its price is going up from 3,100 to 3,200 gold, while the attack speed is being reduced from 30% to 25%. This is a very small nerf in terms of stats, but the extra 100 gold price tag will require a bit of an adjustment from players. Those are all the nerfs, guys, so we're going to be talking about the buffs to items next. If you guys play mana-reliant champions, I'm sure you probably saw this buff coming, and that's going to be Tear of the Goddess. Tear of the Goddess is going to be getting a huge buff because it's honestly kind of weak right now. The base mana is being increased from 150 to 240, while the max mana from stacks is being lowered from 450 to 360. It's taking far too long for players to stack this item, resulting in severely delayed power spikes. I don't think this was the intent, and players should have a much easier time utilizing it beginning next patch. Cosmic Drive is a creative and new item that was introduced this preseason. The amount of AP it provides is on the lower side though, so Riot is going ahead and buffing it up next patch. Gosh, I love when Riot is on our side. It'll provide 5 more AP, having its value increase from 70 to 75. A quick change to note is that the jungle items are also getting a quick change. The healing will no longer be reduced for area of effect abilities against monsters, but the healing ratio is being reduced from 12% to 10%. In most cases, this will still be a buff. Alright guys, place your bets which class is having their items buffed. If you guessed Marksman, well, you guessed right. First up on the list is Kraken Slayer. The AD is being increased from 60 to 65, while the proc damage is being increased from 60 plus 0.3 bonus AD to 60 plus 0.45 bonus AD. While this item might have been underperforming, I think this buff is gigantic and it'll probably be broken next patch. But then again, assassins are so strong that I think that, maybe it balances out. If you've been struggling to cut through frontliners, this item is going to be looking pretty promising with its huge changes. Even against squishies, this is a big buff to the bonus true damage. Essence Reaver is next, and the buff it's receiving is pretty straightforward. The AD is going up from 40 to 50. 40 was definitely on the lower end for a legendary item, even if it does have Spellblade. Phantom Dancer is receiving a big buff next patch as well. The price is being reduced by 200, so it'll cost 2,700 instead of 2,900. Also, the buff duration is being increased from 3 to 2 seconds. 2 seconds felt a little bit short and could sometimes not be enough. Once an opponent catches up, honestly for me, I just get one shot anyway, so adding an extra second will honestly help me when I'm playing ADC. It should help everybody in their attempts to kite. This buff is definitely a scary one. Even adding on an extra second is a big buff, and it'll likely be pretty hard to strike the balance with this item. Did you guys know that there's an item called Moonstone Renewer in the game? I hope I didn't butcher that one like I did Prowler's Claw, or however I said it, Prowler's Crawl. I hope you guys don't judge me for that. Alright, jokes aside, it was definitely underperforming in comparison to Imperial Mandate. Alternatively, tank supports were just building Sunfire Aegis anyway, which left no room for this mythic to shine. This item is getting a gigantic buff next patch, so maybe people will use it, who knows. The base healing is going up from 30 to 60 to 60 to 90. The healing amplifier is being reduced from 0 to 150% to 0 to 100%. At the end of the day, however, the max heal will go up from 75 to 150 to 120 to 180. While players typically think to just kill their opponents before they kill them, this buff might actually serve as an alternative decision. Okay, my favorite item to pronounce, Prowler's Claw. Of all the assassin items, Prowler's Claw is the one that actually needs a buff. The AD is being increased from 55 to 60 as a result. Finally, Serpent's Fang is getting a buff. The Shield Reaver is having its damage increased from 50 plus 40% bonus AD to 70 plus 40% bonus AD. This item is supposed to be a strong tech option against teams packed with shields. However, it is getting some love to help solidify its viability as an answer to shielding. Alright guys, that was a fat list of item changes, so let's head on over to champion changes next. While we normally separate buffs and nerfs to champions based on role, the number of changes are really small this patch and they don't encompass every role. Thus, we'll just run through the nerfs first and then with the buffs. First up for nerfs is going to be to Kayle. Like we mentioned earlier, some of Kayle's itemization was hit, but this wasn't enough. Riot is hitting her head on and reducing the scaling on her passive. Every 100 AP will now provide 5% attack speed instead of 10%. Samira is also receiving a nerf. Her passive's melee bonus is being reduced from 2 to 19 plus 10% bonus AD to 2 to 19 plus 7.5% bonus AD. Also, her passive's dash range for immobilized enemies is going down from 800 to 1000 to 650 to 960. These are small nerfs as well, but they're adding up. Samira has been getting small nerf after small nerf, and it's clear that she'll eventually reach a point where she's manageable. I still haven't played Samira in ranked yet. For any of you guys who are considering going to Samira while you still can, I do recommend getting a challenger coach. She is a little bit complicated at first. They should help you get the tips that you need to climb this preseason with Samira. Next up, we have Hecarim, who's been an absolute menace in the jungle. Hecarim's passive AD from movement speed is being reduced from 15 to 30% to 12 to 24%. Also, his E's movement speed is going down from 25 to 85% to 25 to 75%. With no need to finish a jungle item anymore and also a cheaper price on his power spikes, Hecarim is in a much stronger spot than before. Thus, his built-in values are being lowered to offset the indirect buffs that he got this preseason. Amumu has also been popping off hard this patch. Yes, my sad little mummy. God, he's cute. Thus, it's time to keep him in check, though. Come on, Riot, why are you kicking him when he's down? He's still sad, you know. He's not happy because he's been popping off recently. So, what's happened to Amumu? Well, W's AP ratio is going down from 0.5 to 0.25% max HP per 100 AP. With Demonic Embrace being a powerful option on Amumu, he's naturally able to build a decent amount of ability power. Some players even run Conquer on him, and thus he's getting more AP than before. This nerf is just to make sure that players aren't getting too much bang for their buck while building tanky, which just happens to have accessory AP in it. Finally, we've got two buffs. First is coming to Tryndamere. Oh my god, buffing Tryndamere, it just seems unnecessary. His Q's passive AD is being increased from 5 to 25 to 10 to 30. He's been underperforming quite a bit. The new items aren't really panning out in his favor. His Q's AD per percent missing health is also going up. Instead of gaining 0.15 to 0.35 per missing percent, he'll gain 0.15 to 0.55 instead. At later levels especially, this is going to lead to an immense increase in bonus AD. Hopefully with these buffs, Tryndamere will be able to find some victories on Summoner's Rift in spite of the item changes. Also, it's likely that players will slowly optimize builds and find one for him very soon regardless. Galio is going to be receiving more of a bug fix, but it's still considered a buff. His passive will now interact correctly with ability haste. This change should give him some extra power where it should have been. Final change to note is that there are going to be tons of bug fixes and finally some adjustments to item icons for the sake of clarity. That really needed to happen. Maybe it's just since I've been playing since beta and I'm so used to most of the items. I don't know, but it's just so confusing to me. God, my boomer brain is just really, it's just not optimal right now. With that said, that's going to cover all of our upcoming changes for next patch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, we appreciate the likes. Please consider subscribing to our channel here, or even on our Wild Rift channel if you're interested in that. Until next time, happy grinding during the preseason, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. That's it for me. Good luck in your next few games, and I'll see you on the Rift.